Well, from Australia, from Sydney, welcoming you to Tango One live. We have an exciting show tonight. We are going to be talking all tango. What else, anyhow? I'm your host, Anthony, and I am calling or hosting the Tango One from Sydney, Australia. We will be joined tonight by a very good friend of mine. He's an amazing person, tango personnel. He's from Ukraine, but we will introduce him in a moment just to make sure we understand that the whole 30 minutes, 40 minutes type of show is live. It is on YouTube as well as at the same time, for the first time, on Facebook as well. So please feel free and say hello over on Facebook. Well, the idea here is to connect with tango, to connect with people, to share ideas, to share our addiction to tango. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are introducing and welcoming Sergiy from Ukraine. Sergiy, welcome.
Hello, Anthony. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight or today, as it is in Ukraine. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Fantastic. Well, as you know, it is a time zone difference. It is, as we said, it's live. So in Sydney right now, it's a couple of minutes after 8. It's actually 8:05. Therefore, in Kiev, you're from Kiev now, right?
Right.
What time
right,
is
yeah.
there?
It's 5 minutes past 1 p.m.
1.
So it's
right.
afternoon,
Fantastic. Excellent. Well, you know, Sergiy has been running tango school in Shanghai as well for many years. He speaks well Mandarin, but the show tonight is going to be in English. And also, he has been organizing the most famous Shanghai Tango Marathon with Ping. Sergiy is currently teaching in Europe, and he is touring around and spreading all the beautiful tango. There is a lot to know about you, Sergiy. But before I ask you about tango, I would like to ask you, how did you start tango? What made you get into tango?
Oh, that's that's a very good question. That's a long story. I'll try to make it short. It's been in 2006. I met a friend on the street in Lviv, Ukraine, and she told me that she's going for a tango festival. It was the first tango festival in Ukraine in 2006, and she was going there. Actually, she didn't dance, but she was going there to meet a friend of her who was teaching at this festival. And she told me about this, and I thought like, Argentine tango, interesting. What is this? And the next day, I just catch a train. 24 hours later, I joined the festival, and right from the beginning, start taking classes, go to milongas, applying everything what I knew from the first day. That's how I started. It was just a matter of interest.
Wow. And where did you start actually? It was in Ukraine.
It was in Crimea in Ukraine, right. It was a Koktebel Tango Festival. It was a first tango event in Ukraine in 2006.
Right. Fantastic. Well, so you've been dancing there in Ukraine and then you moved to Shanghai. Anything happened in between?
Yeah, I danced in Ukraine. Actually, I was look, Anthony, there was a very interesting time because the moment when I started, the Argentine tango was only in the capital city in Kiev, and all other cities, even though some people came to the festival and they wanted to learn or to dance, but there were no schools. So, I feel a bit ashamed of talking of this, right? But after taking lessons for a week in a tango festival, I went back to my hometown and opened the school. when I will never recommend people to do something like this, but it was a time when there was no tango in the city. So we all teach, but at least I was honest with the students. I said, look, I learned it for a week. I have some ballroom dance background, so I can understand a bit more. I will share with you what I know. And that's how we start growing the community in Ukraine. In different cities, in some cities, a couple of schools, and that's all started from 2006 in other cities in Ukraine. Yeah, and then in 2000, like I will say from 2009 to 2010, that year I was traveling. I cannot say I've been to many places, but I've been to Berlin, I've been to Warsaw, Istanbul, been to Moscow a couple of times. The community is huge there. So I got some experience. And the beginning of 2010, I moved to Shanghai. Yeah, that's right.
That is amazing, incredible, actually. Well, moving to Shanghai, you lived there for many years, actually.
It was 8.5 years. 8.5 years in Shanghai.
No wonder. I do recall many funny stories with you whenever we met in Shanghai. And one of the funny stories was on the motorbike. You said, "Oh, just sit on the bike at the back and I'll just, go there." I was really freaking out. It wasn't really easy decision for me, but it was normal. Well, look, when you went to Shanghai, can you give us an insight what you discover when people learn dancing tango in Shanghai? And then later on we'll talk about Europe.
Interesting, because the moment when I came in 2010, I think at that moment there was only one school in Shanghai, and there was also one Milonga organizer, right? And me and Yuping, we started to teach. I remember we started to teach and give some classes to people who already dance, just to share the experience. But what I remember at the beginning, and I think it's like, it was always in different communities, when you try to give a bit of quality, you try to talk a bit more about the embrace, connection, or a step, the basics to make the dance not only look good, but feels good for the partner. People were more like, oh, can I get this movement? Can I get that movement? So I remember me and Ping, we were tired after a couple of months of giving this. It was not a school. It was still at the moment, it was like a workshops once a week. And then we went together to Seoul Tango Festival in 2010. And after Seoul, we saw one more time this amazing community, those amazing dancers and people. And I remember we walked close to a park in Seoul, and we talked and we said, like, why don't we open a school? And we did it. We opened it on June 5, 2010. And I think from that moment, it really starts the beginning of our tango and our school and everything what happens later in life and everything which is related to Shanghai. The beginning is June 5, 2010.
Yeah, the tango school was Tango Go.
Exactly.
Right. Sergiy, I prepared a very special surprise for you for tonight, and probably for many other people. I'll just see if we have somebody special here on our call. Let me just find.
Wow, Ping. Hello. I was just talking about you.
Okay, everyone.
Wait a moment. Here is Ping. Right.
Good to see you guys.
Hello, Ping. How are you?
Good. By the way, I'm in Shanghai. I'm not in Ukraine.
Oh, yes, I understand that. Thank you very much for joining in.
No, you're welcome. It's an amazing opportunity
It was,
to know you guys.
yeah, I really wanted to see you, of course, but it is totally impossible for me to talk about Shanghai without you. And of course, it is like a very close connection, the Tango Go school there. And how are you, Pink, by the way?
Been good. good. The word pandemic. This really, really strange time right now. Here I think around the world. So I've been good, good. But Shanghai and China now actually is quite good now. Yeah. How about you guys?
Well, we are fine. We are fine. We are happy to see you. It's
Happy to
you're
see you
looking
guys
amazing.
too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we started talking with Sergi about the Shanghai Tango Marathon, and it was really amazing series of marathons that you have created. Because I remember you have involved most of the Asian culture actually together, right? You brought all the schools and all the dancers together, even from Australia. We went there, and
Yeah.
also you involved the consul in the Argentinian consul into the marathon.
Yeah, I think like me and Sergey. I think it was in Shanghai 2010, 9, right? Something like that. I even couldn't remember. It's too long. So
2010,
there,
2010.
yeah. So we build up, school. Then after a couple of years, we start thinking of. Actually, we start from International Tango Weekend. So that's actually pre-Tango Marathon. It was called. I remember we were inviting Sebastian Chava and Roxana. So that was first couple in our Tango Weekend. Then after we also had very good relationship with Argentina consulate in Shanghai. So they're really encouraging us a lot and support us, to organize events to promote tango in China. So since then we think to transform the International Tango Weekend into the Tango Marathon. Our vision was like we want a tango marathon to become like truly international tango events.
Well,
Not just
it has
for.
become like that. Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
we're really trying so hard, for inviting teachers, dancers, or DJs, amazing DJs like you. So we really try to build up this strong image for the people. And of course, Shanghai is an amazing city too. So for people, whoever they come from Asia or come from Europe or American, they come in not just for sightseeing, not just for China, also for meeting people around the world. So that's our purpose too. I remember we invited, very good orchestra,
Yes.
the great masters we're working on. Oh,
Yeah.
we called marathon, but actually we were a little bit more like festival before.
Festival.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would like to add here,
Yeah.
that since we've been dancing and we've been visiting different events and we have friends worldwide, so we don't have enough time to visit all of our friends. So we also want our friends to come. And as being already mentioned, we wanted to introduce a lot of good things. We wanted to take the best of tango and show it to people: the friendship, the great energy, remembering the tango is fun, that it's all international, it's all about hugging and meeting people, and we try to bring it to Shanghai. That was the purpose. I totally agree with Ping.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was fantastic. I do recall your very first studio where
Uh-huh.
I visited, and that was for me. It will be unforgettable forever, right? How the after party milonga, but then you moved to the other studio, which was like for me it was an example of a studio. Like you had the beautiful dance floor, you had the typical milonga setup, as well as you had the bar, and that was amazing. Sergi, what is
Yeah.
that your fault?
Yeah, I think for this part we have to thank Sub.
Yeah, yeah. Regarding the, I mean, look, we know that that every man is a boy, a little bit inside, and I think the first 40 years of childhood is the most difficult for a man, right? So first 40 years. There's every man
I would
or
extend it a little bit more than that, but anyway.
yeah, yeah. But as an adult, I think every man had this idea of having a bar, and of course, when we start discussing about how we're going to make a studio, I was like, yeah, we should have a bar. And I remember when we talked,
Of
and,
course.
and we had this. I don't remember it was if it was with Ping or it was with the designer of the studio, but someone says it's going to be 3 meters, and I measured it and I say, let's make it 10. And they say, okay, 3.5, and I say 8, and they say 4, and I say at least 7. And we end up with a 7 meter long bar. That's true.
Amazing.
Yeah, because also we, even though it's a studio, because we run Milonga there, we prefer the style of this. Our studio is towards the bar style instead of just studio style. So because we want people really relaxing in our studio, feeling like a
Yes.
home or very chatty. This is kind of like Tango people spirit too. You, we don't want people coming. Our Milonga is like competition dancing. No, it's not. You're coming to meet your friends, you're drinking, you say hello, and also you're dancing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was really a really up top place for sure, right? When you as you organize a festival, the marathon last year, you have organized a little bit different format, but it was really amazing, with the bit of competition in there. And I think it worked very well. Now, will you consider continuing with the marathon to begin with next year?
Yeah. Of course, we of course, Sergey and I, we still gonna organize amazing marathon for next year. But for this year, we know the situation like this now. We think maybe it's better don't organize this year. So. But next year we're gonna come bigger, definitely bigger energy, better, arrangement, everything. And for the marathon, we do like Sergey and I. Actually, every year, when we finish marathon, we're always thinking about what we can do better, for next year. So what we can change for next year. So that's why maybe every year, actually, when you come, you will see we have something slightly different from last year. Yeah.
Sergi?
I also would like to say that actually for this year, 2020, at the beginning of the year, actually after the last year marathon, we talked with a lot of friends, and I've got like a lot of friends and students from Russia, some people from Finland, from Poland, from Norway. So actually a lot of dancers wanted to come this year, but since the situation, we decided to postpone it for a year, even though actually you can make the event locally, just for Shanghai or just for China, but we keep this core idea together with Ping that it's international. Like it's about bringing a lot of friends in, so the people can share their cultures. The foreigners can share their cultures with the locals, and locals can share their culture with foreigners. So it's have a great mix. So I think, as being said, next year, 2021, a big party, and I don't know, November, Shanghai is the capital of tango in Asia.
Right. Maybe you double it.
Pardon?
You double the marathon. Double
Yeah,
it, like
maybe.
you
maybe
have two of
we
them.
double. We double the size of the venue. We double the size of participants. I don't know.
Double the time.
Yeah. We double the time. We ask you to DJ twice.
Oh yeah, sure.
We buy more wines. So yeah.
Right.
I think it's going to be great.
Pink, before you, I know you were planning to go soon, right? But before you go, what is the situation in Shanghai right now? Tango-wise, naturally.
Actually, now like Shanghai is almost back to normal. The situation here, pandemic situation here, coronavirus is almost like nothing now, honestly.
Wow.
So Milonga's group lessons, they start since like end of March, April. So they have regular group group class and regular milongas. So it's really like I would say 90% normal, but only when missing is missing, international dancers that travel around, but Shanghai is an international city. We sometimes got
Yes.
international dancers, they travel here as business trip or whatever private trip. But now we're missing this part. But rest of the things are almost the same as before.
Fantastic. That's very optimistic for all of us, because we always look at, okay, what's happening there, and that will happen something similar in Sydney as well. So that's very nice to hear. Actually, very encouraging.
Yeah.
With the with this pandemic, is there anything that you would like to see different after the pandemic? Pink, this is for you, and later on I'll ask the same question, Sergi, as well, much later.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything you would like to see different after the
So
pandemic?
Sergey, don't steal my answer, okay?
I'll try, Pink.
Honestly, I think this pandemic time, it's really the hardest time ever, I think, in my life. I think in most people's life ever been through, right? So it's really globally crisis for everybody. A lot of people maybe even lost job, lost friend, or family. So it's really, really hard time. I have to say that. So I think for this, we really probably, I feel like we probably really understand, for as a people or as a tango dancers, we should drop, anything about hitting or hate or like negativities. We should really looking and the positive part of our life and the positive part from the tango. So when we really come meet together next year in the tango marathon, we should hug harder, we should smile bigger, we really should to I'm sure we will have a lot of things to talk about, about what we have been through the 2020. It's a very shit year, I have to say that.
Yeah. Well, look, that's their beautiful wishes, of course, and we all cannot wait for that moment when we see each other again. Any last message for the friends all around the world that are watching? Ping?
Well, really best wish for all you guys, finish whatever the situation you guys now, in. It sucks, but we what we can do is only looking forward, look at the future.
Well,
Great.
thank you very much, Ping. It was a beautiful
you
surprise for sure.
Thank you.
It was amazing to see you. I mean, I suppose it was a surprise for Sergi. We planned it a little bit, you and I, so we kind of knew what will happen, you and I, but Sergi was thinking
Unaware.
that's
I
too
wasn't
late.
aware. It was pleasure to see you, and I hope we see each other soon in Ukraine or Shanghai,
Bless
right?
you too. Okay,
Bye.
so good really
See
talk
you
to you
later.
guys. See you.
Ciao. Well, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was great idea to invite Ping, Anthony.
Well, very well. Well, we have so many stories from Shanghai, you and I, and once you've decided to go away from Shanghai, what was the main reason that you left Shanghai and then went to Ukraine? I suppose went back home.
First of all, I'll answer your second question. I didn't go back to Ukraine. I end up in Ukraine only now due to pandemic. And I first went for a while in Moldova, and then in 2019 I was traveling the whole year, 108 flights in 2019. So basically every 3 days. What was the reason? I think the reason was it was a time for changes. It was a time to try something different. Of course, living in Shanghai and being organizer, being a teacher, have a school, it all was amazing. It was amazing, but there are some things which I was not able to, how to say, to experience. Just because it's a different culture, it's a different city, you know, and being a foreigner in a different country, that also puts some limitations on you. So that's why I went back to, I'll say, back to Europe, and I've got what I wanted. Let's say this way.
Right. Because you had an opportunity to travel around Europe, and you have your teaching around Europe with this amazing dancer Elena.
Right, right. That's true. Elena Sergienko, we are we are partnering together now. She's also actually from Ukraine. Of course, not always. We are not always traveling with Elena. I think half of the time we're traveling together. I mean, half of my travel time, right? Of my
Yes.
working travel time. We travel together for workshops.
Yes.
And another half I'm traveling by myself,
Yes.
which is also an interesting format. Same as Elena do. She travels also a lot by
I
herself
see.
with her woman
And
technique.
usually in Europe, no?
It depends. I will say 50% is in Europe and 50% is in Russia or post-Soviet, you know, countries like, I know, Ukraine,
Yes.
Belarus, Russia, those countries.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, for some people, actually, can I just say something? I prepared something actually that some people maybe just need a confirmation where is Ukraine. So I prepared this actually. So from Sydney, I go all the way over there, and there we go. That's where Ukraine is, right in practically in the middle of Europe, more or less. And it just the Black Sea is, of course, Ukraine is part of that Black Sea countries as well. Yeah. So that's very interesting to know, at least. Anyway, so I prepared that short little animation. You travel therefore to Finland quite regularly.
I will say Norway a lot.
Norway?
A lot of trips to Norway. Finland, of course. Also, if you talk about European countries, it's Poland and Austria. And also the Baltic states, like Lithuania,
Right.
Latvia, and
Yes.
Estonia. Those countries.
Right. Now, because you have exposure to all these different people, I mean, different, should I say, cultures.
Oh, it is.
We all have tango here that is from Buenos Aires, from Rio de la Plata, and we all want to take that experience, take those teachings, and spread it around. Now, you have taught also in China. Anything that you see similar, or perhaps not so similar, in terms of the approach to tango in between different cultures? Does it matter what culture you are having there, or I don't know?
Yeah, Anthony, it matters actually a lot. I will even tell you more. It not only matters on the country, because the culture of different countries is different, but it also matters on the city. Very often, different cities in the same country, they develop differently. The values are different. You know, the way they develop the community is different. It's true. The common thing, I think it's also, you know, it's a very interesting story. I think in 2017, when I was in Buenos Aires, I got a chance to talk with Cristina Sosa, the wife and the partner of Daniel Nacuccio, and we talked about, and I asked her a question. I said, so what tango is? And she said, look, for some people it's a music. For some people it's a lyrics. For some people it's a movement. For some people it's a dance. For someone it's a philosophy. For someone is the value. For someone is the memory, right? and it could be many, many, many other things. How we can describe tango, what tango truly is. Uh, because the singer who is singing with his guitar on a street, it doesn't matter, it's in Buenos Aires or it's in, I don't know, in Berlin or Sydney or Shanghai, Tokyo. If he's singing with his guitar and playing tango and thinking like Carlos Gardel, it's tango. And if we look at the milonga in Buenos Aires, someone who is 95-year-old dancing, it's tango. And then if we look at someone dancing, I don't know, on a beach, I think it's also tango, right? Because the value is different. So every time the value is different. So, and I think that in different countries, these values are also different. I can tell you what is one of my main values and the countries where I see it the most, or the cities where I see it the most.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that true tango starts at the point where two people try to feel each other. I will not say connect, but try to feel each other. So they really think about each other. So I think about my partner, and my partner thinks of me. That's where the tango starts. And that approach is costing a wonderful, very warm and real, sensationally real embrace. And if you ask me which countries, I'll say for sure Ukraine, a lot of that, Moscow,
Yeah.
and Vladivostok in Russia. Those two cities I love a lot. Helsinki in Finland, an amazing place. I highly recommend to everyone. Seoul in South Korea. And from my last memory, which I have, it's Shanghai, but I haven't been there for a year. I hope nothing changed. I hope Ping is taking good care of the community over there. Right? I mean, I know that there are much more other places which have those sensations, and I do believe that other countries also, but I just never been there, so I don't want to, I don't want to say that places are the only one. And of course, there are other places. Let's say Georgia, the state of Georgia,
Yes.
amazing place. If you go to Tbilisi, which is Tiflis in
Yes.
Georgian, I go dancing there. Amazing community. I will not say that it's one of the best place for embrace, the one I like, but the energy-wise, it's amazing. They organize every weekend. They go to the wineries, they drink wine, they do the barbecue, they dance, they invite amazing masters. A bit of a different feeling, right? So I think every community have something super positive.
Yeah. Have you noticed a pattern actually that when the community is smaller, number wise, they're much more together. As soon as the community grows, the quality may not grow, may stay there, but then they will be like group here, group there. I don't know. That's just my impression, perhaps. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it is. It is like this, I mean, in my hometown, there may be like 12 people dancing tango, right? So if I write in a Facebook chat and I say, okay, guys, let's go and make an open air milonga, all of them will come tonight, and it's great. Imagine a city like Moscow, over 100 schools, over 100 schools.
Wow.
Some schools have 25 couples of teachers, the bigger ones. 25 couples of teachers in a school. So, I mean, probably 200, 300, 400 people, maybe 500 people who are only teaching, organizing, playing tango, doing milongas, practicas, giving private classes, group classes. There are so many teachers who even are from Moscow, but they don't teach there because they teach outside. It's impossible to gather all of them. So, of course, you have these little groups in the community. I think it's a totally normal thing when the community is growing. Another question is how these groups are communicating with each other.
Right. That's challenging for sure. When you go to different places, different festivals, what is the exciting part to say, okay, I'm going to go there or I'm going to go here? What is that is making it so exciting for you?
Ooh, actually, a very good question. I thought about it a lot. Not today, a couple of years ago. Because I was asked the same question in one of my lectures in Vladivostok, and I thought, So what is the real thing? Why do I go there? The answer is friends, people. Um, I will definitely. I feeling excited if I go to a place where the people I know, and it don't have to be a lot. It can be one or two, three friends. It doesn't matter male or female. It doesn't matter. I can dance with them or I cannot dance with them. But I know, okay, we're gonna have. It's like we're gonna go together. We're gonna drink coffee in the morning, and then we're gonna eat
Right.
something great for lunch. And in the evening, we're gonna go somewhere else to do some side things, and then we're gonna go to Milonga. And at that Milonga, I'll make five friends, and a friend of mine will make five friends. And here is a group of 20. And but the beginning is a friend. A friend, I mean, a friend of mine, a friends of mine, right? Who go to a Milonga. I think that those are the most important because I know what does it mean when you go to a festival or you go to a milonga. Let's say it was long, long time ago in 2009, but I went to a festival where I sit for 3 days and I didn't get a chance to dance at all because no one knows
Right.
me and I know no one. So there was a problem. So I definitely would say if your friends go somewhere, and of course that's the first, right? That's the first criteria, and the second one, of course, I will put a lot of attention because it's important for me. It's about the music. So who are the DJs? That's really important. Who are the masters, and do I want to take class with them, or I want to see their show, or
Right.
who is performing? What is the event format? Are we dancing nonstop, or do we have a chance to learn from someone? And so those are criteria how I choose the festivals.
Great, great, great. Right now you said you're in Ukraine, you're in Kiev, and you are running classes now.
Uh, yes and no. I since the pandemic, I had
Yes.
only online lessons.
Right.
And it was
How is
about the
that
music.
going? The online classes.
Pardon?
The online classes. How they're taking up for you.
Um,
They're
I
okay. Or
haven't been doing them for months and a half right now because August and beginning of September is a hot holiday season. A lot of people taking holidays and so,
that's correct.
but it was online lessons about the musicality. So I choose the part where we didn't dance. We try to discuss the music to see it from different perspectives.
Right.
Try to phrase it, see the details in the music, try to understand what the different musical instruments are playing, understand the lyrics. I was trying to give a little more of input into the community and group. And actually my classes were in Russian, so it allows me to have people from Vladivostok, from Moscow, from United States, from Canada, South Africa, Buenos Aires, all around Europe.
Right.
So it was a big group, actually very international.
Fantastic.
Uh, that was
Fantastic.
I was doing, and since now is a break, probably till beginning of October with these online
Right.
lessons, I'm giving private classes in Ukraine right
Right.
now.
Right. 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 And the situation in Kiev is like going to milongas right now, or it's a lockdown.
No, there are milongas. They started probably from July. July was the moment when at least government officially released a little bit the limitations where people were allowed to be in a group of 10, people were allowed,
Right.
you need a
Right.
mask to walk in the street, and so on and so on and so on. So, it gives the people a bit of this sensation of freedom. And after a month, so from beginning of August, you can see people going to milongas. We have this amazing milonga. It's been there, I don't know, probably for 15 years. It's open air in one of the central parks. And since it's summer right now here in Ukraine,
Yes.
they run it every Saturday, and you have 20 couples on the dance floor, yeah. And now
Fantastic.
the milongas started in other locations. So we also have the chances. I don't know about the numbers. You see, I cannot tell you the numbers, how many people are right now. Is it more or less? Because I never lived in Kiev before, so I don't know what were the numbers
Right.
before. But at least from what I see, it's definitely smaller than in Shanghai, but it's good.
But in Kiev, there is a very special place, Tango Bar.
Exactly. That's something. What I wanted to tell you. It's called Malbec and Tango.
Of course.
it's an amazing one floor old building. It's all, I think it's over 100 years old. So it's very cozy from outside and super cozy inside. And you have this, big windows and neon lights which says Malbec and Tango. It's the only place in Ukraine where you can eat empanadas so far, and they I would say girls, because there is one lady, she's the owner, and another one who is helping with all this. So girls are doing their, which is actually very cool. Something what you do. They do every Saturday tango talks when they invite local teachers or DJs, and they discuss all kind of topics.
Okay, nice.
They having every Thursday night a great milonga, and all other time it's either wine tastings in the evening, or it's either open dance floors, so you can come anytime and you can just practice or give a class or talk with people. And I really like it because it's open, I think, only for like 1.5 months, but I can see every day more and more people come there. So it's the
Right,
location, the venue, the space where people can meet, means a lot to the community, and I can
right,
see it helped a lot right now to develop the community here.
right. Are there many schools in Kiev?
Oh, also difficult for me to say because I don't know exact numbers. I think it's around 8 to 10, 8 to 10
Right, right,
schools.
right. Well, it's interesting because I'm looking at Kiev is similar size. Well, a little bit smaller than Sydney is, and so I'm just trying to picture it how it looks like. I've been to Lviv, but never to Kiev. Right.
Yeah, Lviv is smaller. Lviv is smaller. But Anthony,
Yes,
don't
for
worry.
sure.
There's always
No,
a
I'm
chance
not
to develop a tango community in Sydney. All you need is to import, I don't know, Ukrainians. We have a great energy.
exactly. So when are you coming to Sydney?
Oh, as soon as the pandemic is over, I'm taking my boat right now.
Fantastic. Right. Look, Sergiy, time has gone so quickly, but I have one last question for you. What would you like to see in tango after COVID pandemic goes away? What you'd like to see different,
I have two answers. Can I? May I? May I?
please?
I think first of all is something what being already mentioned, to look more on the positive side. I'm saying it because I know that in every community uh, there are some issues. I don't know, between the teachers, between the schools, between the organizers. I mean, almost in every community where I travel. So I
Yes,
wish all of
yes,
us just a bit of more, I don't know, more of humanity and human values. Tango is not a place where we should compete unless we go to, I don't know, Mundial. Uh, just to be more, more friendly, more human being. I want to see more love. I want to see more love and more embrace. And the second one, um, again, I think I'm talking it from the perspective of what I saw in last year in different places and what I see in Kiev right now. You know, there is this one thing which I see actually in Seoul, something what I see in Shanghai, something what I see in Singapore when we are in Singapore Tango Festival. What I see, of course, in Beijing. I know I'm naming right now the Asian cities. There is a special quality in tango. I mean, I like the milongas when the venue is, with a wooden floor and the venue is beautiful. Like you mentioned, there is a bar. I like when the gentlemen are coming to milonga nicely dressed up, the pants, the shirt, vest, tie, cufflinks. It all looks amazing. Because it's not happening in Buenos Aires, we have to be honest. It's not happening like that. So it's much more better quality uh, culture-wise. I mean, why I love Asia is the dancers in Asia. They didn't copy the dancers in Buenos Aires. They copy masters from Buenos Aires. They copy their way of dressing up, handling themselves, practicing. So, and what I want more of this kind of quality all around the world. Um, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I really recommend you to visit some of the great festivals and milongas in Asian countries, because that is amazing. You know, it's truly an amazing feeling when you go to a milonga and you feel a lot of quality in every detail, in the sound, in the way people dress, the way they dance, the way they treat each other. So I want more quality. It's just because aesthetically it's beautiful and great.
Well, we've been promoting whenever there is a festival or a marathon, and whenever, if I was involved with it or not involved with it, we always say, "Oh, you must go, you must go." For Australia, it's every trip is an overseas trip, so time, of course, how much it costs to get there, but definitely, I totally agree with you. To go somewhere to a marathon or a festival, it gives another level to everyone's dancing, new inspiration.
Exactly, you know, because life is about the emotions. Life is about our emotions, and our emotions are coming from our experiences. So actually investing into a good trip, or into a, I don't know, into having a dinner in an amazing restaurant, or jump with a parachute, or visiting a tango festival abroad, or whatever it is, whatever makes you smile and great, I think it's worse. It's worse for yourself, for life, not just for tango, for your life. So I totally agree with you, Anthony.
Fantastic. Well, Sergi, thank you very much for your time. You're amazing, and wishing you the best. You said you're going to go to Croatia right now after
Yeah,
this.
a little holiday. You exposed me, Anthony, online.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry. Oh,
no,
all those
it's
people will know now where you're going.
yeah, I'm having little holiday, but actually it's combined. It's not just a holiday. It's going to be combined with some practice and lessons. So,
Of
but
course.
that I will post on Facebook later. That's a little secret.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Well, Sergi, thank you very much one more time. All the best to you, and looking forward to see you again on the dance floor, or perhaps we will do this again.
Sure, Anthony. Count on me. It's, I don't know. You know that I'm always on your side. It's great to see you. It's great to have this interview for all the people around the world. I hope I was able to share a bit of uh, my views or my energy with you guys. And yeah, and if you have any questions, or maybe you want to ask me something in private, please free to, I don't know, to write me or ask Anthony. He know how to find me. Yeah, and
Most
thank you so
definitely.
much, everyone. Thank you so much, the audience, for being here with us tonight.
Thank you very much for everyone to sharing your time and deciding to stay tuned till the end. Good night, everybody, and we see each other next Monday.